Okay, so today's video I'm going to keep very short because I opened the doors in about 20 minutes. I woke up way too late today, so yeah, what are you going to do? Anyway, so today I have a board that it was not turning on. It's a MacBook Air board that was not turning on, and I'll be honest, I was being a real dumbass about it because I didn't do one of the very basic things that you're supposed to do, which is check every power supply. And I really did think I checked all of them. I did, but I did not. Because I was being a moron. So somebody else pointed out very kindly that I missed a power supply. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right here when I say power supplies. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Okay. So right here you kind of get a list of all the power supplies that the machine uses. And it's move this a little bit so you can see properly. Ain't really properly, but it's pretty close to properly, I'd say. So, and you got this list, like all these different supplies for all these different things. PP3V42, PP5VS5, then you have the CPU ones like PP1V or whatever. You have chipset vCore, like CPU vCore. You have all these different power supplies here, and if something's not turning on, you should check at the very least the basic ones. And like again, I don't get to check in every single one from this get-go, but I missed PP5VS5. Like that's fucking embarrassing, because it's even when you go to the basic, not even down at the big list, but when you're just at this basic thing over here, which tells you like here's the AC adapter. Here's 12 volts, here's CPU, whatever, like right down here is PP5V S5 and PP3V3, so you got those. And I didn't check, so that makes me a dumbass. Now, it wasn't turning on, so I went to, well, let's try to keep life simple here. So we have PP5V S3, actually, it was S3 that wasn't turning on, not S5. I'm still being an idiot. I need to get some sleep. So PP3V3 S5 was working, but PP5V S3 was not working. So now I figure if this chip is good enough to make 3.3 volts, it's good enough to make 5 volts. Again, this is not, some college level thinking. This is just college dropout dumbass making his assumptions. So we go to this chip over here, and whoa, you're probably thinking, what the fuck is all this shit? Well, let's keep it very simple. So you have these little things that say enable, EN, for enable, on the pad. You have these things that say enable on the chip, right? Just making sure I'm still recording. I don't trust this thing for nothing. So anyway, now when I measure enable voltage at P3V3S3, which I get 3.3 volts. When I measure it at P5VS3, I get 0. So my thinking is that this chip isn't getting the enable voltage it needs to actually turn on and get its, start making 5 volts. So let's see how that happens. And I gotta keep this short because I have only 10 minutes until I gotta open. When I open, it'll be just a bunch of people walking in with their silly questions and silly demands, and it'll be a zoo like it always is at 9:59 a.m. So P5VS3N, P5VS3N. Right. Let's follow this. All right. So this gets created by here, right? P5VS3N, which is created by PM _ sleep _ S4 _ L. So let's search this a little bit more and follow. Okay, so this comes from the PCH. I don't want to troubleshoot a PCH just to figure out if I can get this to turn on immediately. I just don't. I'm not like, no. So here's what I did. I know that works off of 3.3 volts. So the first thing I did to make sure that I didn't wind up killing anything is since I measured the resistance between this enable pin and ground, and I got overload, OL, on the multimeter. OL means infinite resistance, lots of resistance. That's good. Now, because I was about to do something very silly and very dumb, something that you shouldn't do. This is cheating. I'm gonna go to hell for this. I'm gonna, bad things are probably going to happen to me and my offspring because I did this terrible thing, which is I took 3.3 volts from another part of the board, right? And then I took that 3.3 volts from that other part of the board just to test, and I put it to the enable pin. So let me show you that in the microscope. Alright, let's see, where did I put that? So on one end, okay, so that's where the enable pin is. That's the enable pin. Right over here, you see that? And I wired it to here, which has PP3V3, which fell off over the course of my evening. Again, this is not really, this is not like the finished professional job. This is just a quick and dirty, does my ideal work job. So let me just put that wire back there, and then I'll. So by the way, I might as well just show you right now. You know what's going on. So, as you can see, I put power on and I get green light, but the fan don't spin. So now the fan does spin. Lovely. You see, it didn't do that yesterday. It truly did not do that yesterday, but it's doing it right now. That is funny. Alright, so let's measure, let's see why it's doing that now, because that really, that just makes absolutely no sense to me. So I did not have PP5V S3 or SO yesterday, but today, without that little wire being there, well, my oscilloscope doesn't lie, folks. 5 fucking volts. Can I tell you how that happened? No. I have no idea. I have no clue. No idea. Nada. Spent all day yesterday messing with this thing, and I did not have PP5VS5. I can tell you I did not have PP5VS5. I mean PP5VS3 or PP5VSO. But today I do, for no good reason. And my wire is ripped off the board, as you can see. See, I mean, I really have no idea what I'm doing half the time. Truly. This is just funny. Anyway, so let's move on to problem number 2. So after I did that, I left because I had no brain. The computer wasn't turning on. I mean, it was turning on, but it wasn't really doing anything. This really just pisses me off. Like, seriously, this board just fixed itself sitting here overnight. Like, what PM sleep? There's no PM sleep yesterday, but today there's PM sleep. Like, what the fuck? Actually, yeah. Yeah, so I guess PM SLPS4L was sleeping while I was awake, and now that I'm half asleep, it's awake. Lovely. So after I turned it on, I put it attached to a screen, and I don't get anything on the screen. And one of the things you may notice here is no VCore. So let's go back over to my oscilloscope there, so where I'm supposed to see CPU VCore. You see nothing. See? Straight up 0 volts. You don't need an oscilloscope for this. You could just use a multimeter. The reason I use the oscilloscope is so that I could keep my multimeter in the ohms mode. So I have no VCore. So what should I look at if I have no VCore? What should I look at? Well, let's take a look here. So the one that's missing, you go back and you look through your supplies. You go through my supply list. So let's go all the way up to the top. Chipset. Okay, so we have chipset VCore rails right here, right? So there's PP-VCore SO-CPU reg, PP-VCore SO-AXG reg, blah, blah, blah. So let's look these up. PP-VCore underscore SO underscore AXG underscore reg, right? And we get over here. So let's show you how this crap works. I gotta get a better resolution monitor. Not even for you. I don't care about you. I care about me. This shit sucks. 1080p on a 14-inch screen for schematics, dude. Seriously, it's rough. You know. I know. It's first world problems. But yeah. So this is the output, right? Now I checked this inductor. That's fine. That resistor is fucking fine. Let's check Q7550. Again, I want to go through as much of my troubleshooting process as I can, but I gotta open in like 10 minutes, so I gotta hurry the fuck up with this shit. Alright, so. Alrighty, so schematic says. Schematic says that is this, and as I said, this board view, it's always going to open in the opposite of your board's orientation. That's just the way it is. It's bullshit. It is bullshit. It's some fucking horse crap, but it always does that. It knows which way your board is oriented on your table, and it will always open it in a different view. That's just the way it is. Alright, so I got this Bluetooth mouse now to make my life easier, but I forgot to enable it. Oh well. Okay. So let's just take a look here. So this is pretty much yoink. Okay, so this is the 8 or 12 volts depending on your motherboard, PPVIN. And that is, I mean, that's always there. I'm just really checking it just to show you that I checked it. Yeah, see? So on the multimeter, this is my multimeter. Yeah, so that power is there. That's good. I got the 8 volts there. Now let's see what I get here. So the way that this crap works, thank you somebody for correcting me, is you have these two things here, and they open in little spurts that creates little bursts of electricity that gets smoothed out by this thing, and then you get happy voltage for the CPU. So you got 12 volts. It's going to turn into 1 point something over here, or 0 point something depending on your machine, the CPU you uses, etc., etc. So anyway, so let's see if this piece of crap opens. Now this is going to open based on these two little FETs in here are going to open based on the input signals, which is 0 volts, 0 volts, 0. That's the 8 volts right there. So that's the 8 volts for the at the top. So that's this. That's the I'm half asleep. So that's the 8 volts over here that's supposed to be getting fed in here, and it is. But these two are not actually opening to create the little pulses that are supposed to come out of here. I forgot to zoom. So this is here on the as you could see, because I had 8 volts, but this signal and this signal are not here. So these two are not opening to create the little pulses that are supposed to come out of here. So this is ground. When these two open, they're going to send these little pulses through to here, which are then going to go to the CPU. But they can't because there's no signal here. So let's see what controls that, right? That's okay. So CPU IMVP. The CPU IMVP gate UGate 1G, CPU IMVP L gate 1G. Let's just L gate 1G. Let's follow that crap. Okay, so this comes from a chip called this Max chip, this U7400. So let's find that thing, right? Let me just turn the board off because there's no reason to keep it on if I'm fucking with it. So we find that chip, and let's see what it looks like under my microscope. So this is what it looks like, right? Now, you can't see what I see because my microscope camera is a limited view field. But, yeah, you see. What do you see that doesn't look right? What do you see that doesn't look right? Yeah, this, what the fuck is this? What is this horse shit, garbage, bullshit? Alright, so let's see what that is. Let's see what that is. I know what that is because that thing has gone bad so many times. And of course my board view opens in the incorrect orientation. And I gotta get this show on the road because I gotta open the store in a few minutes, motherfucker. Alright. So that is CPU IMVP ton. That resistor goes bad all the fucking time. It's going straight from the high power supply for the board into the chip. So again, the stuff that's like, again, the stuff that's really gonna blow in a more violent fashion, stuff attached to backlight circuit, stuff that's attached to, directly to the 12-volt rail, or the 8-volt rail in the case of this board. Because I think it's 8 volts on the air. So let's get rid of this little piece of crap. That thing's probably dead. I should measure it. Let's measure. Let's measure. See if that thing has any resistance still, or if it's just completely fucked. Yeah, that's gone. I don't even think there's metal on this side anymore. I'm pretty sure if I scrape that off, that's just crap. So that's OL. So OL, by the way, on the multimeter, in case you didn't know, is infinity resistance. So, or at the very least, more than what it can read. For our purposes, if you have a good Fluke $80 or $150 multimeter and it says OL, technically there still could be resistance there, that it's just not up to the tolerance of reading. But if you're really at the point where your multimeter is at OL and you need it to be 90 kiloohms, that's the problem. That is the problem. So let's get some solder on that pad. Let's see if there's still a pad there, by the way. Wouldn't be surprised if that pad is gone. Let's see what we got there. Okay, so see that shit is gone. There is no pad there. There is no pad there. And I gotta open in 2 minutes. Fuck shit, and piss, man. Crap. Alright, so yeah, see this is where the pad is supposed to be, and that's where it's supposed to go to. So that's the 12-volt one, and that's the one that goes to here. So the resistor blew, and I'm glad it blew, because this pad and the probe, all that's pretty clean, which means luckily that the 8 volts didn't go through and fry this shit with full power. But yeah, that pad is gone. I'm guessing that's the 12-volt pad, because that's the one that's just sodomized and yuck, destroyed, gone, absolutely gone. Okay, so R7402 is a 90.9 kilo ohm resistor. Now let's see if there's a probe point anywhere near here that I can steal that from. So that's probe point 240. So we're gonna open up a no 240. Where can I steal that pad from? So the closest probe point that has what I need is not that far away. That ain't too bad. Alright, so I solder the resistor here. Yes, this ain't that bad. So let's zoom on up over here. Fuck. Come on, camera. Alrighty. So what this is saying, so this is the resistor I gotta replace, right? This is the pad that's gonna go to the chip. This is the pad that's sodomized. That's going from the 8-volt CPU top power rail. And that's the probe point. So I'm gonna put a little wire between that and the resistor that I soldered to this pad and here. So this is the resistor, it's gonna get soldered here. Where it would usually be soldered here, I'm gonna have a wire, and that wire is gonna go around over there. Now, do I think I can do that in 2 minutes before I open? Probably not, which means I'm probably gonna have to pause this shit and come back to it later. Okay. So yeah, it is 9:56. I am most likely going to have to pause this and come back later. Let's see how much I can get done now. Now I know where the ton resistor is on my other boards because, again, I've replaced this thing like 1,000 fucking times already. So let's take this off and solder it there. Cool. My Molby denim wire. Love my Molb denim wire. Okay. Where is that probe point? Oh, cool. I can tell which is the probe point because it's fucked up. See? That's one of the things that gets to be a real killer in this job. I can't wait till they have like virtual reality that you just plug into yourself and you can just see whatever you want. I can see the schematics in my head. It sucks looking back and forth between the monitor and this. So that's my probe point. I was gonna look back up to make sure, but nah, I know that's my probe point. I know, I could tell that thing is, ugh, yuck. Just, ugh. That is what I'm looking for here. So, I always believed in the whole wave soldering thing, like just have a vat of solder or fresh flux and just have something run over it. So I'm always adding solder and then I flick it away. And that makes for a very, very nice joint. Okay, I got a minute. I got a minute and 10 seconds before I have to open. Oh, I hate having pressure on me. I hate pressure. I hate pressure. I don't work well under pressure. You really shouldn't do this type of crap under pressure, like little wires that you can't see. And yeah, I just dropped that wire on the table. Okay. You literally, this shit is so thin that you can't even pick it up half the time with fucking tweezers. Okay. Gee, alrighty. Oh look, it just it dropped off of my tweezers, and I can't pick it seriously. Yeah, this should have did this. And I have 20 seconds left before I open, which means that we're done for the moment. Okay, we will continue this later, since I do have to open my store so I can make money. You know, again, I love you guys, love YouTube, but yeah, business first. Okay, and here we are again. So yeah, it's damn near impossible for me to do these videos during the day, but yeah, the only way. But I just can't wait until the end of the day. Yeah, you know, people want their shit back now. They don't want to wait. Well, yeah, actually, I would have fixed it earlier, but you see, I wanted to do a video, so I had to wait until nighttime. Yeah, that doesn't fly. No. Yeah, this wire is a pain in the dick to solder. It really is. It really, really is a pain in the fucking balls, man. Like, because that's the thing. People, like, they love their tweezers, but the tweezers don't pick up a lot of stuff, and sometimes they don't move it, and it's just utter misery. The thing I like about these tweezers is you can grab them differently on both ends. I'll link. Hopefully, I remember to link to them here. If I don't, I'm sure you'll bother me. Yeah, great job, jackass. Put the wire right next to ground. Great job, moron. Great job, fucktard. Yeah, why don't you just short 12 volts to ground, you moron. Oh man, I'm done. Alright, let's see. Oh god damn, I'm dumb sometimes. I wonder how I managed to tie my damn shoes in the morning. Actually, I don't tie my shoes. I have sliding dress shoes, so I don't. Because if I did have to tie my own shoes, I'd be screwed. I'd be fucked 6 ways to Sunday. Okay, so let's turn this piece of crap on and see what I get. Ugh. Do I get fire or do I get V-Core? Fire or V-Core? Fire or V-Core? let's see. Let's grab a ground. Here's a ground, the SSD bracket. And let's put what's that? Oh, check it out, check it out. Fuck yeah. Okay, you know, ain't a lot of VCore, but it's more than I had before. So, let's go over to the oscilloscope over here. That's probably terribly out of focus. Only I can make a $2,000 camcorder look like shit. Really. So yeah, this is before. We had nothing. This is the beginning. By the way, remember what I said with the spikes? Those are the spikes. So every single one of those lines in my on the vertical axis, the y-axis, is 5 volts. So yeah, that's a lot of spikes. What the inductor does is it smooths all that crap out into a nice smooth 800 millivolts. 800 millivolts is good. That makes me happy. That's cool. I like 800 millivolts. Because the thing about 800 millivolts is that's what I'm expecting. Alrighty. Now, let's see if this thing actually works. One of the things I hate about the Air versus the A1278 that I really hate, and I know it's my fault, I should fix this and get a proper setup, is in terms of the screens, like, you have to plug in this whole assembly. It's a pain in the dick, you know. You have to have an assembly available. I can't just plug the polarizer in because I need a backlight layer to see stuff, and having all that crap out on the desk is a pain. Like when I have an A1278 board, you see what I do? I just go right behind me, I grab a screen out of the slot, it's got a cable on it already, I just plug it in, boom. This is fucking horse shit. This is just, I know, I'm whining and bitching about stuff that really truly is a first world problem. This is a first world issue. This is really completely a first world problem that I'm just ashamed that I'm bitching about, but it bothers me, so I will bitch about it. If it does bother me, I will bitch about it. Now, I like to keep the machines nice and clean. Not only do I clean them before and after I'm done, but I also, if I have any flux or any wire on my table, we go through paper towels like crazy here. I'll put 2 layers of paper towels on the table. If I see even the tiniest bit of flux or any piece of solder or whatever, I'm just better safe than sorry. And then I don't slide it around by the computer, I slide it around by the paper towel. And because there were some comments in another video like, your desk is wood, blah, blah. You should see how that desk, again, when that desk was new and laminated, you could take a brand new phone and just do this on the wood and you wouldn't scratch it. I'm not kidding. Again, that's when it does not have solder on it. This is a separate table from that table. This is the table that I use for soldering and all that type of crap. So this table, oh dear God, that, yeah. Yeah, about that not scratching shit. So yeah, I'm very careful with these things. Okay, so I have plugged in the screen. And I'm not gonna screw the whole board in just to see that it don't work. That would be stupid. That would be silly. That would suck. Okay, so still got nothing, but the thing about this, the thing that's cool and exciting to me is that the screen activated. See, I don't have anything on the screen, but the screen itself actually came on, and you know, it did that little flickering thing where like you're never going to see it on the camera, but you see that like it turned on and there's some kind of crap going on with the liquid and everything inside the screen. That's cool. Would you like to be in a motherboard repair video, Veneer? Are you absolutely sure? Because I guarantee that people would much rather hear you talk than me. Okay, I'll edit this out so nobody knows that I asked. Yeah, you can push. You can fuck it up. Come on. Come on. Go, 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 go. You can push it out as much as you want, Veneer. My videos have no production quality. You know that they have no production quality. The only thing you have to apologize for is not volunteering to be in the video. So anyway, so yeah, what I saw is that something came on the screen. Again, it looks like shit. I mean, you can't actually see anything. You can't make anything out. But I could at least see that like it's activated, which means it's cool. That means my CPU fix worked. I can't really call that a fix until I fix that wire because that just looks like shit. So what I'm doing here is I'm going diode mode to ground. So I got diode mode on my multimeter, and I'm measuring from backlight output at one of these two output capacitors. I always forget which end is it. So yeah, I'm going to check both. One of these is going to be a direction. So 0.53, come on, well that's not right. All right. Yeah, 0.530, 0.531 on an LP 8550 base board. That's what you're looking for around there. And I have no backlight, so that means my backlight circuit itself is actually good. Then I go to look at my fuse, and oh dear God, let's see what the fuse looks like. Yeah, so we're gonna. So let's take a look. Oh, that is disgusting, isn't it? Look at that shit. Look at that fucked up ass. I really don't need to make a measurement with a multimeter. Really, I'm not. I don't need to. I don't need to. I know that is blown. You don't need a multimeter to tell you what common sense will tell you. And common sense, just having a basic fucking brain tells me that is blown. So just to recap a couple of the things that we've done so far, I had no PP5V S3 or SO. I restored it on the advice of somebody who's much smarter than me because I was being a moron and didn't even check my. I still can't believe I didn't check my 5-volt power supply. Anyway, so again, that's the thing about overworking yourself. I'm going to do a video on that soon. Like at any given time, I have a stack of these on the desk. So let's go over there like this. Let's go over there like this. I mean, yeah, that's a stack of about that I got to get to before the end of the day. You can't overwork yourself. So as soon as you realize that your brain is not working anymore, the second you realize your brain's not functioning, you just gotta stop. Just put down whatever you're doing and go home. But yeah, so I restored PP5V S3 and SO. Then the wire that I used to restore PP5V S3 and SO literally just came right off the board. It came right off. And it still worked. See, the PP5V S3 was not coming in because the enable signal was not working. That enable signal is triggered from a sleep voltage that comes from the PCH. Just to bypass that, just to see if just out of curiosity, to see if the fucking thing would turn on, I stole 3.3 volts to create the enable signal from somewhere else, and the 5-volt rail worked. Now, when I got back to work the next morning, my wire was off, and I said, fuck. But I just plugged it in just for the hell of it because I had this strange, crazy premonition that it was going to work, and it actually did. So the board fixed itself. So that PCA, and again, it's not like an issue of corrosion. This thing went, before I started the video, this thing went in the ultrasonic cleaner at about 70 Celsius. It stayed there for 10 minutes. And yeah, so I mean, any of the corrosion, that shit was 99.999% certain. Any of the corrosion, that shit's gone. Alright, do we have is that a solder pad, or do we have a solder pad? Can I solder to this? Where's that shit just gone? There we go. Come on. That's the thing about the wave soldering approach I have. Like, sometimes there's corrosion and crap on the actual pad, or junk and bunk, so you just run enough solder over and over again, and the crap from the board actually winds up inside that ball of solder that I wind up throwing into here. So I do like using a good solder with a good no clean flux as an actual method of cleaning, because all the crap is just going to get sucked up with it. And you don't want solder blobs on your board. You don't want nasty blobs of crap that's not neat. That's not why I use a lot of solder. I use a lot of solder because it just blows away all that shit that has no business being on my motherboard. It's getting harder and harder to get this thing under here, because this microscope is really close to the board compared to my old one. And I also have to do this at an angle because there's an inductor right next to it. See, I can't do straight up and down, which is completely fucking killing me right now. So unfortunately I'm going to have to straighten that outside of the microscope, because it's inside the microscope I literally can't I just physically cannot fit the iron in there to do what I just needed to do. And they just flew off. Lovely. Blech. Yeah, as cool as it is that this microscope lets me do videos, and as cool as it is that it looks better than my other one, it honestly, for work, because of the height limitation, it can be a real pain in the ass. I mean, like, real pain in the ass. So yeah, I have to... I'm just going to turn the air up on my Hakko here so that I can properly work. Let me try this under the microscope again. I'm going to tell you, I did this for a long fucking time with no microscope. Not LVDS connectors and stuff like that, but I mean just, you know, 0402 packages. Yeah, there we go. Now the air is getting around the inductor. Yeah, I did this for a long time. No microscope, no nothing like that. And that was fine. I'm not saying I liked it. I'm not saying it was ideal, but yeah. And there were videos that there were times, because before I had the microscope camera, or before I had a camera that let me zoom properly, I replaced the fuse. I used the damn viewfinder as my microscope. A nice TN screen on a $100 camcorder. And it did a damn good job, too. Okay, so let's put this in here. It can stay outside the board for now. Da-da-da. You may wonder why I'm wasting time plugging a speaker in. It's actually therapeutic to hear that chime noise if this is what you do for a living. I know it sounds silly, but like when I hear that chime noise, it legitimately does make me feel good each time I do hear it. So as you can see here, it turns on, and the CPU works because I have the gray screen, which is a lot more than I could say before. So, and I have a backlight. So let's go over the three things that I did. The first thing that I did is restore PP5VS3 by shorting the 3.3 volt rail to the enable pin of the chip that controls PP5VS3 and PP3V3S5. The second thing I did was restore a 91 kilo ohm resistor to CPU IMVP ton, and I put that to the 8 volt rail that the machine was running off. The third thing I did was replace the backlight fuse, and now it works, which means I get to collect the money. And again, I walked you through the troubleshooting process, I walked you through how I was figuring it out, and again, I didn't get to do the whole thing in real time, but I did get to do a decent amount of it in real time, and around the amount of work that I have to do here and the amount of crap. And I'm actually pretty proud of myself that I was able to get this shit done within 2 hours. Legitimately, from the time that I started doing this video to right now being done, I fixed about 4 iPhones, 2 laptops, and I've taken about 20-30 phone calls. So, pretty cool. Anyway, I shouldn't be that proud of myself, because as I said, I was dumb enough to not realize that PP5V was not running, and that was dumb. That was legit. That was just, there's really no excuse for that kind of moronacy. Is that even a word? Moronacy? Idiocy is what I'm looking for. But yeah, you live and learn, and hopefully that's a reminder for you to check your power supplies before you go on asking why something doesn't work. They're all listed in the schematic. They're all listed. It's a pain in the ass. I know it's a pain in the ass. And again, if you're the type of place that can afford workers, that you have people working for you that can help you with that, get a low-level worker, show them how the board view software works, show them how the schematic works, and just have them go by and test every single one of those. I mean, that's something that I'm thinking of doing, is just having a basic lower-level staffer that literally I'll just give him something that's being a pain in the ass, and I'll go, here is a list of all the power supply rails. Tell me which one doesn't work. I'm going to lunch. I'll come back later, you know? Like, executive. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to be executive board repair. I don't want to be like, just sitting here checking all this crap like a little slave. on my own. Anyway, that's it. I'm just about to run out of disk space because I'm recording raw video off of 2 HDMI high definition sources to a laptop. So I really do